Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we'll be taking a look at the track Blood, Hair and Eyeballs by the American punk rock band Alkaline Trio. This is the title track from the band's upcoming 10th studio album, which will be releasing next year. Their first since Is This Thing Cursed from 2018. Since then, Matt's been certainly very busy filling in for Blink during Tom DeLonge's departure, but with him returning to the band, it's great to see Alkaline Trio releasing some more music and returning to what they do best. And we've certainly been spoilt from the pop rock, punk rock scenes over recent weeks. We've seen a string of strong releases from some bands getting back together or releasing albums after a slightly longer period than the typical release schedule we do see of maybe 3 to 4 years, with it being 6 years between the albums for this band. This will also be the first album to feature Atom Willard as the band's drummer. He was a touring drummer back in 2000 till 2001, but he's not featured in the band since, so great to see him making a return after all these years, but he's certainly got some big shoes to fill. So will this song be as strong as a full head of hair or just a bloody mess? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds.
We lost touch and you left town. You said, I never ever want to see your motherfucking face again. I went out and I got high. I blacked out and lost my mind. I said, I never ever want to feel that motherfucking way again. I got nightmares up and down my walls. I've got some things that I should say. Walk like a zombie up and down these halls. Sleep like the undead, at the end of the day.
So one thing that I'm really noticing that stands out very clearly in this is definitely Dan Andriano's bass line. It's very slick. It's one of the things that is so prominent in their music and has been pretty much throughout their entire discography. He really does just make that bass so very prominent in many of their mixes and really adds a very strong slickness to a lot of their music. And we're touching on the idea of broken relationships again. It's something we do see in a lot of pop punk and a lot of punk rock as well. It's something that really is just commonly used. And I like how they're kind of referencing to the idea of a zombie, not for just one simple way. It's not this idea of when you break up in a relationship, you kind of feel a bit zombified, you feel like the life's been drawn out of you, but also touching on the idea of going and getting high after this person's left town. I went out and I got high, I blacked out and lost my mind, where you almost become a zombie because your senses are very much nullified and you kind of use the getting high as a reason to forget somebody or to kind of not have to face the emotional despair that you may be going through when you do go through this breakup and you lose touch with this person that you maybe saw yourself having a severe future with. And then the idea that these kind of drugs can take you on a bit of a transcendic trip almost. I got nightmares up and down my walls. You start to have these nightmares, these fears, and really just hallucinate quite heavily. So I've got some things that I should say walk like a zombie up and down these halls. So really touching on the idea of just feeling very zombified, very lifeless in the way that you are going through this breakup, but also maybe getting high.
To living life, cut me some slack. I almost died and I never ever want to see that motherfucking place again. I found true love and lost my way. I won't lose hope, patiently waiting. I hope and pray I get to see your motherfucking face again. Yeah, 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 yeah. I've got
really loving just this very idea in the second verse of getting back to living life. You kind of, life goes on, you go through this breakup, you kind of have to deal with it in your own way, and you just have to be cut some slack. You almost died, you went through this really horrific point. Maybe it's from the drugs, maybe it's from the heartbreak and that lifeless feeling that you did have. I found your love and lost my way. I won't lose hope, patiently waiting. And this idea of, I hope and pray I get to see your motherfucking face again, almost wanting to get that revenge, get that point to kind of go back at somebody and say, look, I'm a better person now that I've moved on from you. So really just showing some very simple elements. Even in the chorus, we do have these kind of extended notes that Matt Skiba really seems to love to do, and tries to make their choruses that slightly more anthemic, not too over the top, but really just is a signature that we do typically see from them, as well as the guitar tones as well. You can always usually tell when you're listening to an Alkaline Trio track just because of that very signature guitar sound that they do have. Yeah, certainly a very steady track coming from the band. It is the first time we obviously have got to hear from them in 6 years, and I think it certainly just serves a good purpose of just reintroducing people to the band after their time away. I think they're always going to struggle to really match the power of 2005's Crimson and albums from around that time, but they're still showing that they've really got a strong ability to just build a little bit of something into their music. They never try and experiment too heavily. You know exactly what you're going to get, and that's part of the reason most of their albums have been relatively well received. There's never been any that have been absolutely outstanding. There's some certainly very iconic ones, and I certainly feel, given this first track, they like to play things quite steady and just really just kind of fit into that mold that they have made for themselves. So I'm glad to see them building in a little bit of a story as well, and even in the bridge, living like lovers, dying like dreams. So the dreams die, they become your nightmares. The points that you absolutely loved, you now begin to hate. The idea of deep undercover, just this idea of kind of this wordplay almost of under the covers in bed and things like that, and the idea of rising from the grave when you wake up from that zombified state, that from the either loveless feeling that you've gone through, or just the kind of the morning after getting high and just going through those hallucinations. So really simple track that really just covers a very simple topic, but just great to see a reintroduction to the band and really make a great use of just a simple idea and very simple stylings just to kind of reintroduce people to the band and really just show that they're sticking around even after all these years and still producing some very solid music. So that will be everything for today's video, but as always, feel free to let me know your thoughts about this track in the comments section below. Are you glad to see the band making a return after 5 or so years away whilst they've been working on other things, or do you feel this song is a little bit lifeless? I would love to know your thoughts. Also, if you'd like to see more content like this, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next Dojo Analysis.